Hi, in today's video I'm going to be speaking about a recent bikepacking expedition I undertook in Cumbria in the northwest of England. So I hope you enjoy. Okay, so as I said, bikepacking in the Lake District, Cumbria. And unfortunately I didn't actually take any proper camera equipment with me on this trip. I didn't have it available at the time. I just had my phone with me, which I grabbed a few pictures on. So there's no footage from out on the trip, but I'm going to share with you some photographs and mapping of the route that I took. So as I said, I didn't have a lot of equipment with me. I didn't know I was going to be doing this trip as such. I just took the opportunity whilst I was in the area for a quick overnight bikepacking expedition. My aim on this little adventure was just really to test out some bits and pieces of equipment and make sure that it was all working properly. I had a few new bags, frame bag, and seat pack, and handlebar pack that I wanted to try out before moving out here to Thailand, with the intention I'm going to be using them a lot more now that I'm here. But I grabbed the opportunity and did a quick overnight. So I did about 40 miles on the first day and 20 something miles on the second day. I can't just remember. So here you can see the overview of the first day's mapping. I did just under 40 miles on this day. Quite a bit more than I initially intended to be honest with you. But you can see there at the bottom there's a little loop where I nipped into Grange to get some supplies, and then rode up out of Grange to the north, basically towards the Lake District National Park. The first off-road section was at Simpson's Ground, and there's a photograph here of my bike at the top of Simpson's Ground. As you can see, it was a lovely day, lovely weather. I was very lucky with that. From here, I kept heading my way north, following lesser roads, a few bridle ways, a lot of small country roads, which the bike obviously isn't ideal for, but it's what I had at the time, and it was the way I wanted to go. Once I got up past the A591, as you can see here on the map, that's where things started to get more interesting. I then got onto proper bridle ways, now onto more exposed moorland, taking in quite a reasonable climb, some lovely terrain, and I think with the weather being as good as it had been in the spring in England in the lead up to this trip that I took this summer, the ground was very dry and hard, which I know I've ridden in that area before. It's been very, very boggy, very hard going, but on this occasion it was hard and fast. It worked really well. So from there I dropped over down into Kentmere, as you can see here. There's a couple of pictures from Kentmere. You can see where I the road that I descended down into Kentmere. I had a bit of a break there, took some fuel on, had a drink and something to eat. And then from Kentmere, you can see here, I took on the Garburn Pass, which I've done quite a good few years ago on an unladen bike, just on a short mountain bike ride. And I think at the time I said I'd probably never do Garburn Pass again, or the Garburn Road. It's a very, very, very tough climb. With a laden bike, it took me a long time to get up there. A lot of effort, basically just pushing my bike. But it was well worth it. Fantastic views from the top. I didn't actually get any photographs from the top. It was starting to get a bit cooler and a little bit darker. I was thinking more about getting down and getting to find somewhere to camp for the night. So I pushed on, and I was kind of sort of making the route up as I went along from this point. I knew I wanted to get into that area, but I didn't have a dedicated plan. But it was at this point that I realised I would actually be able to make it down into Ambleside for the night. I'd anticipated camping before there, but instead I pushed on to Ambleside. Again, resupplied, went into a cafe, had something to eat, filled up with water and stuff like that, before then carrying on out to where I ultimately camped for the night. Now, as you can see in these couple of pictures, this is where I set up camp, just on the edge of some woodland off a Bridal Way, against this fence, which worked really well for setting up my shelter. As I've said earlier, I didn't have all my equipment with me. I only had some basic stuff aside from the bags. This tarpaulin, which wasn't ideal, as well. It's very, very large, as you can see, so for one person overnighter, it wasn't really the best thing to carry, but it's what I had to hand, and it worked. I've also got, you can see my bag in these pictures that I was carrying on my back. I don't think you've seen that earlier on, but a camelback, and I had some stuff in dry sacks in there as well, just kind of spreading the load all over for better weight distribution. So on to the second day that I was out. Again, I'll show you an overview map here, what I did. I didn't actually get any photographs on this day. Like I said, I wasn't really anticipating even making a video about this. I didn't have much of my equipment, didn't have any proper camera equipment. So the photographs that I did grab were just really for my own personal sort of, looking back on the ride. So I set out quite early in the morning, broke the camp down. It had been a dry night, a bit of disturbance in the night. I heard someone shooting not far away, which was a little bit unnerving, and some kind of odd barking. I think there might have been a fox or something like that in the woods not far away. Quite strange sound. But aside from that, I wasn't disturbed. I had a pretty decent night. So I got up, broke the camp down, and decided to ride down into Hawkshead to get some breakfast. I thought I'd nip into a cafe. Unfortunately, on arriving at Hawkshead at about 8 o'clock in the morning, it turned out that there was nowhere open until 9. I thought, instead of hanging around for an hour, I want to make some decent progress, so I'll carry on. I'll go over to the visitor centre at Grisdale. On arriving there at about 10 to 9, I had a bit of a nose round. I could see people in the cafe working, but the doors were all locked. And I thought, well, it's 10 to 9. They're obviously just setting up, so give it 10 minutes and get some breakfast. Anyway, by about 10 past 9, a few other people were milling around, and I was asking people if they knew when the cafe was open, until ultimately someone said the cafe wasn't open until 10. I thought, great, well, again, I'm not waiting another hour. So I just had some of the food that I had, some energy bars and stuff like that, and pushed on, ultimately deciding to head south from that area back towards my start location. I carried on just again through the narrow country lanes west of the lake, some nice scenery, some big climbs, but nothing really mountain biking. Until I ended up down at Newby Bridge, where I finally found somewhere I could get a hot chocolate and some breakfast. From here, then it was quite a straightforward ride back through Cartmel to where I was finishing. So on this second day, I did roughly about 20 miles, most of it on road. So it wasn't a big day. It wasn't particularly difficult. I took my time over it. I'd finished by late morning, midday-ish, quite easily, even with all the stops and waiting around trying to find some food. But ultimately, I had a great time. Really love the Lake District, love Cumbria. Definitely somewhere I'll be doing more stuff in the future when the opportunity arises. I've done quite a lot of stuff in the area in the past, and the trip really did work well. It proved all the equipment that I was using to suit what I needed it to do, with some tweaks, giving me some ideas for stuff that I might change in the future. So thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed this video, giving you some insight into bikepacking in the Lake District in Cumbria. It's a fantastic place to do these kind of things. I'm thinking next time I might go into some more detail about my equipment and setup. I'll get the bike out, built up, I've not actually built it yet here. Get it built up, get it set up as it was on that trip, and just go through everything that I used and how it worked, really. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.